I'm critiquing Stacy Fuggate's image from for the narrative part one. I am first going to talk about the elements and principles that the photographer used. The first one that brings out my eyes is the line. You have the line of the people, so it's really crowded here, and then it gets less and less crowded as you get to the back, but even then you can see the roads coming. You even have the lines of the trees in the back, which aren't as big of a focus, but you still have them, which I think is pretty awesome. And it makes for a really good interpretation of the photo. As you look, your eyes can't help but start here and then go back, kind of looking how it has less and less people. Next, we have the color, and I think the color is the contrast of the red, which so many people are wearing here, and then with this greenery on the sides, and even a little bit of that mountainous view in the back. And then even the texture of the people and the trees and the signs that they're obviously holding at the protest and those things. And so those are the elements that I kind of just saw and wanted to point out first. For the principles, though, I think the first principle that I noticed is the emphasis on these people. So these people are a little more, as I would say, in focus and not as much in the back. You can see like what color hair these people have, whereas in this farther back you can't. And then we also as well have the movement of our eyes going from this overcrowded space to it getting really not as crowded in the back. And our eyes going with those lines to create that movement. And then we even have the variety of all the people, and then like not as many people back here, of the people, and then the greenery of the trees. So those are just a few of the elements and principles that I feel that the photographer used. Next, I feel as though the image is about obviously the Frankfurt protests that have been going on for teachers, but I think even more it's the nightmare of what is going to happen with the pension standings with the teachers. And so you don't get that feeling as much, but just knowing what's going on in this photo and knowing what this photo is about and where this photo is taken, you feel that nightmare because there's so many people who are going to be affected, and that's just the people standing obviously outside. There were people inside as well as thousands of other teachers who couldn't make it to Frankfurt. That's just like outside knowledge that I obviously have. Honestly, I don't know what I would necessarily change. I think if anything, I would almost crop out these buildings, so I would make this part your last line. But really the look of the photo looks really nice, and there's not much I would change. I love how busy it is because it shows what your point is trying to get across. And I don't know really what improvements you could make. You did a really good job portraying exactly what I think you needed to portray. I would say, if anything, watch your rule of thirds, but you did pretty much a decent job. I feel as though this is more of your heavy part of your photo, and this is not as much as the thing. But even then, I think you did a really good job, and out of all the photos I think I've critiqued, this has to be my favorite. Now, getting across what obviously the whole thing is about, I think you lose that nightmare feel if you don't know what is happening with the pension system, or if you're not affected by the pension system, or things along those lines. You don't know why this would be considered a nightmare. But overall, Stacy, you did an awesome job at doing this photography and portraying the nightmare that a lot of teachers are feeling right now.